Welcome to Your Soul Wisdom, hosted by Yana Amor Manocas. In each episode, we invite you on a transformative journey delving into the profound mysteries and wisdom of the soul. Join us as we explore a wide array of spiritual topics and sacred practices that nurture and heal the soul, from reincarnation and soul contracts to the enigmatic experiences of womb alchemy and astral travel. Our discussions are designed to enlighten, inspire, and deepen your understanding of your own soul's journey. With Your Soul Wisdom, nothing is off limits. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Your Soul Wisdom. I gotta say, seeing that intro back in again, I know I said this last time, but it just brings me such joy. And Rachel, when you're just like this larger than life energy, I'm like, oh my God, I remember that. I feel that. That is totally who you are. Welcome,
I
everybody.
when you said it out. And it's what started all the energy with us, because that's what really excited us, is this beautiful intro that you sent out, and we were all squealing.
Yeah, and I love that we get to watch it every week before we start.
Awesome. Right, because we didn't get to do that before.
No.
No, I love it. I think it makes me feel so grown up.
So, like, legit, right? Like, it's legit.
We are.
Yeah. It feels so good, though. I love our faces because we just seem, oh, you've done it beautifully, Yana. Now I haven't seen it in so long, apart from the last time when we played it, and now watching it, I just think I love it. I absolutely love it. Wow,
I love it too. Okay, everybody, here's where we're going to start. If you haven't subscribed to our new YouTube channel, it is youtube.com/@YourSoulWisdom. Head on over there, subscribe, like the video, start watching us from there, because we are shifting channels. Number 2, if you haven't joined the collective membership yet, this is your time. We just had a phenomenal monthly call this past weekend on timeline shifts and everyone's perspective on it and how we can energetically start shifting the energy around us. And so it was beautiful. Come join us. It is the most fun you'll have. Healing sessions, all of the above. Today, not our first time talking about spiritual bullshit, but we are diving in even more into that. And I kind of want to kick it off with a big one that, you guys, sometimes I'm all in and sometimes I'm all out of it. And the saying goes, everything happens for a reason. And I sit here and I'm like, sometimes I am. Maybe at the end, after all the shit, you're like, oh, I understand why everything played out that way. But sometimes some of your biggest dreams and hopes and desires, when they don't come to fruition, it's like a dagger to the heart. Anybody else? Ladies?
Look, I don't know. Yana, I feel like saying to you, tell me some of those biggest hopes and desires that didn't come to fruition, that weren't surpassed by something bigger. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get what you're saying, but I got to say, I can't really relate to it.
Really?
I can't really remember being crushingly disappointed by something, and really that's the end of the story. Like, it has never ended like that with me. It's like, if you're feeling shit, the story hasn't finished, kind of thing.
Okay.
But also, what I do believe is that everything happens, everything is stimulus. Like, I don't know if it's preordained, as in like it's some sort of, it's meant to happen, but certainly everything is a reason for you to react to and respond to and witness where you're up to.
Everything?
Literally everything is stimulus to reflect where you're up to.
I want to jump in. So 2 things. One, I do believe we have our human and we have our soul. And at a human level, we would prefer certain things. At a soul level, we don't really have all of those emotions and whatnot. And we see the bigger picture. We've spoken about this many, many times. So I think that sometimes something may happen for the greater good in the co-creation of everyone's lives, because we're all working in together. But, you know, our human doesn't prefer it. Now, what I think is bullshit about this is when someone goes, oh, everything happens for a reason, and then doesn't feel how their human feels when they're disappointed. So I do on some level believe everything happens for a reason. But when you're just like, oh, well, everything happens for a reason, something will be better, you're actually avoiding the human experience of the emotions. So that's where I think the bullshit creeps.
I also think that's the same response. Sorry, I was just going to say, you know, if somebody tells you something terrible and you say something as revolting to them as everything happens for a reason,
don't do that, people.
That you're actually disconnecting from connecting with them as well in the same way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you're not open to being open to being empathetic to their emotional experience.
That's
and
spiritual
you're sort of batting it
bypass.
down as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know?
Thank you for
Go on.
Kylie, Jesus.
You almost never said anything.
Go back to putting our hands up.
speaking
I'll just put my
flag,
hand up
okay?
next time.
That's okay. I'll go. You put your hand up. I'm
Go,
gonna
go, go,
slap
Kylie.
someone if I put my hand up.
No,
next.
Kylie, go.
Okay.
Kylie, go.
I'm just going to say a blanket statement, and thank you for starting off really quite small, Yana, because I was really fired up coming into this already. So this kind of brought me down a few levels. I appreciate that. Can I just say blanket statements of like when someone breaks up with someone, well, there's plenty of fish in the sea, or he wasn't right for you. You didn't get the promotion. Oh, there's must be a reason. Or like you lost someone and they're like, I'm so sorry. My condolences. I'm like, fuck you. Like, I want a little bit of like, what is that going to do to me? Like, okay, so I'm you know, in the transitional stage in my life, and you're going to whip out I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to throat punch you. You know, if you come in with a little bit of, and it's spiritual bypassing, absolutely. It relieves you of the responsibility of it, right? But why do we allow that to happen? I don't know. Just saying, because we're uncomfortable with
it. But it does, in the same sense that I would say what that all comes, I think, underneath it is the fact that comes the question as well when people say, well, that's happened, how did you manifest it? Or what did you or how did you attract that into your
That's number 2 on my list.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Right. And it's such, and it is crap. It is bullshit, because I am not one. I am not in and of myself. I am part of a collective. I am part of an ancestral lineage. I'm part of a family. So there's all of these things that play into, and even that I'm part of a community. I'm part of a world. I'm part of a whatever. And all of these things play into why that experience has happened or why that has manifested it. Do you know what I mean? So I don't adhere to there's a lesson, you know me and lessons, 2 fingers up to that straight away. Do you know what I mean? Don't give a flying toenail about learning a goddamn lesson, because who set that lesson up? So here we go. I'm going to crash out like Kylie. But there is that there's these glib things that people just throw out. And it takes away from the whole experience. It takes away, it doesn't allow you really as well to feel those emotions. Like sometimes I have said, sometimes things are just shit. Sometimes things are just shit. Sometimes people are just shit. Do you know what I mean? They're just not, it's just not a good situation. Or it's happened not because of something that you've manifested or you've created or you've even, I really do feel quite strongly about that, because I think that for any situation that happens, there's about 10 other people involved. Mm-hmm. So why is it me that created it?
No. It's spiritual shaming at the end of the day.
I'm part of somebody else's shit creation. Yeah, it is spiritual shaming once again.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know what I mean?
So, and it is a co-creation. There are other players in the game. I mean, even when, you hear a lot of information about, when people decide to pass over, I think it's probably Lee Harris, because I refer to him all the time, but he speaks about when someone, chooses to pass, they do so at the time that is best for everyone involved in a way to send them in whatever direction or healing path or whatever it is that they're meant to go on. So I think that, on some larger level, I do believe everything happens for a reason. On some larger level, I do believe our energy plays into everything. But when something is going on and someone comes to you and goes, well, why'd you manifest this? Or what do you think no, don't be that person, So let's deal with the human in front of you. Yes, at a soul level, we have a higher perspective, but let's deal with the human in front of you that's hurting, and let's really feel it and own it.
Yeah.
Wishing somebody foresight perspective later in some way, I think is, or in your intention, like maybe not even the words, that kind of thing would be what you could hope for that person in the time when they're going through it. So, yeah. Anyway, we're all here for that human experience, huh?
Well, I'm
but I do think, though, at the same point in time, we do have to. Sorry, I think just throwing just to end off what they were saying is that I do think some. I saw that big dive in. I did that on the last one, so I'm going to shut up. What am I going to say, Anna?
Well, I was just going to ask Kylie what's going on that she's so fired up, because I will tell you, I've been a little saucy today too, and I don't know why.
Oh.
Can I just blame? I'm going to blame the 999 portal with a lot of endings and a lot of
Kylie.
Can I just
be the one that's like, don't blame the planets and don't blame, blame Mercury?
Then so am I. But I do want to listen. Do I need to start up now? Are you giving me the floor to start?
Yeah,
I'm ready to go with mine too. So I'm fine.
Listen, I've already had a previous episode where I had the floor for like 30 minutes. So I'm just going to keep it brief. I say 999 because it was in jest, because I saw something today in my feed, and it was along the lines of, you know why you attract broken people is because you're a safe space. No, you don't have boundaries. That is why you attract broken people. I am sorry.
Right.
I am perimenopausal. I have no time for broken people anymore. If you want to look, and I'm going to say something very controversial. If you want to pay me, I will listen to you. I'm at that stage now. I cannot. I have boundaries. I am sorry. So that was my, can I
so you can be a safe space.
I do think
you can be a safe space with good
reason.
boundaries.
If you've earned that spot in there, you will be in that safe space. But if you're random who's coming to me telling me you're triggered by something, poor Diddums, here's a virtual tissue. Here's my link. And I'm a bitch that way, because you know what? I am planets are misaligned. I am perimenopausal. I'm going to blame everything else but me.
No. What about women having boundaries
coming from
a bitch? Do you know, like, that's bullshit in itself.
It is, but the thing is that I own it. I don't see it as a derogative term. I see it as a bit of gangster empowerment, because I've taken it back. It's the same as the can I say the P cat word here? I'm still struggling with that. I'm trying to take it back. But bitch is one thing I own for sure. There you go.
Oh. I'm really trying
no idea what you're talking about.
That's hilarious.
She's talking about the word pussy.
That's what I'm struggling with.
Okay.
I'm struggling with that word still, because it's got that. And maybe that's, my spiritual bullshit. And I own that. Is that I struggle with, owning that word. And that's fine. And that's fine.
Listen, I will tell you, it wasn't until, for me, it wasn't until this year where I felt comfortable enough to say it and there's no charge behind it, because it could be such a nasty word, or it comes with so much energy. And so I remember the second I decided I'm not going to give it that kind of power, I was able to say it without feeling any sort of way. And so anyway, here we are. All right, are you guys ready for my second one?
Hold on, Amanda did want to speak before.
No. Well, that's totally gone from my head, right? But I was going to say, but with that word, I don't, you know what? There are some words whereby you just don't like them. You just don't like the energy, and you don't have to. You don't have to use it, and you don't have to say it. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like the
Like
word.
the word
I
moist.
do not like the word see you next Tuesday. Yeah, moist. Oh my God, don't do that. I absolutely, the kid with that word is crazy. And I don't even think they even really realize the whole connotations of that. It's so disgusting. I don't like it. I don't use it.
I can say you guys should be grateful you never worked in the food industry, because you have no idea how many times that word comes
we
up.
can eliminate that
And,
whole industry for me. Amanda, will
and
you
it's
be
not
my
a
safe
negative
space
thing.
for
A
that
lot of
word?
the time, people are looking
I
for that
understand.
quality. But anyway.
But
All right,
the word
Yana,
I
we're
don't
ready to move on.
like,
Yeah,
I've never
Yana, we've
really
got to
liked
put
is-
this boat back into I don't know.
No,
It's
We're gonna
Amanda,
dock
will
it.
make your point, you guys. Amanda, make your point. No one will interrupt you. I will not allow
I don't
it.
like the word see you next
Moist.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't like the word see you next Tuesday.
Me either.
I think that's
Okay.
such an awful word. I think when somebody gets called that, then I think it has to be like the height of the high. I just think it's just not.
I
think
call
it's
it
an
a top
awful
shelf
to
word.
call somebody.
Look, you guys
So-
honestly could not cope with living in Australia. And hand on heart, Lauren as my witness.
Do they
I
use
would
that
never
all the
do this.
time?
All the time, but you have no idea that I would say most of the time in a positive, friendly, matey way between men. I like when
Gotta
we
be
went
cheeky.
downstairs into the warehouse and they didn't know I was down there. I realized how much they changed their behavior for when I was down there, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Men, yeah.
Like it's
100%.
like the only word in Australia.
Oh
Well,
my God.
Let's not
Doesn't
talk
it
about
say
Australian
anyway?
men, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what word are we talking
Okay.
about? I feel
Please
like I
put us
really
back
missed
on
it.
topic.
See you
No,
next
put it on
Tuesday.
top.
What? That's a sentence.
I will
not a
text
word.
you. I
No,
will text
see
you.
U-N-T.
Oh,
Okay. Do I need to text
Lauren.
you?
That is
I
so
will.
cute to see Lauren online in real time and look at the little
So I
hands. So
love
adorable.
that about her,
Blush.
though.
Lauren,
we
have
get
you
back to the
never
spiritual
heard that
bullshit?
expression?
I've never heard that expression.
No, she does. She's classy, Yana. She doesn't hang around with people like us on a day-to-day basis.
All right, fine. Then we're moving on
Okay,
to
please.
Yeah. Please.
okay. What about when people say? Because I really do
I feel
struggle.
like I need a comfort thing right now. What are you
I
going
know,
to say?
totally. I got my Coca-Cola here. I'm good. But
Emotional support toy.
when
Yes.
people say what's meant for you won't pass you by.
Oh,
Yeah, my
instant
daughter's
punch
got
in the
that as a
face.
tattoo. That's real. That's true.
Hold on a
Yeah,
second.
we got that as a tattoo. That's real.
How,
That's true.
how can that be true when there is free will and when you like I sometimes I'm all in, and see, I think it's just one of those days. I normally would probably be all in.
Yana, that's a phrase that would go with a 21 free. Get it?
Tell me more.
Okay, so
No, wait,
Go, Lauren.
I need more. Wait, I
was just gonna say, okay, what's meant for you won't pass you by. Okay, so maybe that is you are destined to find love in your life. It may not be the person that you think. So maybe it's not specific things. Maybe it's more themes of experience, and that you do get those no matter which way things end up. But it's not necessarily the way you think. Like, again, I think it's a soul versus human situation. Amanda?
And then me.
Yeah, the reason why I
No,
say
Rachel,
it
please.
like that,
Oh.
I hear what you're saying, Lauren, and I so I'll come on the back end of that. That it's really interesting how that might be considered, how that irritates you, because I think what happens with that statement is when there's so many things that in a sense people have missed, or they feel like they've failed in a certain way, and that's when that comes up, or when there are things that are just missing. And I think when somebody has that as sort of like a statement within their life, what they're saying is, you don't worry about the failures, or don't worry about the things that you think you've missed, because sometimes you can feel really bad for missing certain things or missing certain signs, or that, you know, or somebody does come and go, because what's on the back end of that is that, well, then they weren't meant to be for you. They weren't meant to be here. They're not meant to be in your life. Or even if they're talking about relationships or even a job or situations like that. So when something does turn up for you, then that's yours. So I think what's happening is when sometimes you feel, somebody who can feel quite deeply the missing of things or the loss of things, or really always having to work hard at getting things. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's why that statement plays a factor. What's meant for you won't pass you by. In the same way how they say this too shall pass.
Yeah.
And it bloody
You
does.
know, it's
Thank
interesting
God.
because
Rachel did want to
piggyback off of that, because, you know, you guys know I had a daycare business and then I shifted gears, like completely different direction, right? I still have moments where I'll be driving next to some beautiful building or an empty lot, and I'll go, man, that's the perfect location for a daycare center. And I can picture it. And then I go into, well, that was a dream where I was just supposed to just continue building that. And I went to something else, which I'm very happy that I did. But there's this part of me that's also like, well, you should have done so much more in that space. And so I have this internal struggle sometimes where I'm like, should I have stayed longer? Was I supposed to have done anything more with that? Was I supposed to have made that my life mission? And I know, you guys, I everything I'm saying right now is opposite of what I preach every day and what I truly feel, but that's just how I'm feeling today, where I sit here and I question stuff sometimes, and I'm happy in my life and I have love in my life and I have joy in my life, but I'm still like, I have those moments when I see a beautiful building that I'm like, that will make a perfect space for children to come in and learn and be taken care of while their parents are at work. But I've
maybe
left behind.
Yeah, but
No,
maybe two things can be true, and you could also do that at the same time, and maybe you needed to leave to realize how much you wanted to. Do you know what I mean, Rachel?
Look, I was going to say the same sort of thing to Yana, is of like, tell me something that you genuinely think has passed you by that was meant for you, because I swear to God, the only things I can think of are pieces of clothing I wish I bought. Like this coat from about 10 years ago that I swear to God, every time I go to get a coat, I'm like, if I'd bought that coat, I'd be wearing that coat now, that kind of thing. Like, I can't think of any event, you know, with respect, your childcare business didn't pass you by. You totally made conscious decisions in the time.
I know.
So that's not passing you by. That,
but
kind
you
of
also
thing.
could totally consciously do it again.
I can't link.
I know. I think about that too,
Yeah.
Lauren.
But
Anyway.
I also think that, you know, it depends on how you frame it, because it's sort of like when I think about if I felt that's opportunity, there's something that comes up for me that's in both ways, and it's in retrospect commercially for me. And there were a couple of situations where when I had sold my business, I sort of went through this period of time when I was sort of down on myself that I didn't be the person these other two men separately wanted me to be for commercial gain. And quite literally, that's millions of dollars of sales. I'm not talking about anything small. And, you know, to start off with, I was really down on myself going, oh, fuck, Rach, why didn't you just push through? Why didn't you just do it? And then now you wouldn't be thinking about it. And you'd be probably wealthier as well, you know, that kind of thing. But then a few days passed and I realized that the one thing I was really proud of myself in that business is that I hadn't completely lost myself to commerce. And I see that all the time in industry. And I realized that that was the line. Me not changing myself for those two men for money was actually how I stopped losing myself altogether. So yes, I let opportunities pass me by, but what was left was me. Instead of me going with those opportunities, do you know what I mean? And I'm so grateful that those opportunities passed me by, or I passed me by, or I refused to change, or whatever, that kind of thing. But it's been a journey. You know, that's a story that would have been a 5-year story from beginning to end.
Yeah. Well, that's a really interesting one, because like I said in the beginning, and so I hear that, but I don't hear how that, because like I said, my daughter has that as a tattoo. And when she asked me about she didn't ask me, when she said that was what she was going to tattoo, I thought it was quite beautiful, because I thought it was a really good reminder to her of,
it's like trust.
And sometimes, and like when I see it, it does bring that back, that, oh yeah, do you know what I mean? That it's almost as if everything is in its right place. And it's okay. And sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. And that's okay. What it kind of gave me was that feeling of, it's okay. You know, we don't always have to be so tightly entrenched in the ups and the lows and the ups and the lows. It's okay. What's here is meant to be, and what isn't. That's what it meant to me.
But Yana, I do want to say, I do believe that if you wanted to build an empire in the childcare industry, you could. And so that's another thing that's coming in, is that maybe you do all the amazing things that you're doing and build a childcare empire. Just saying.
Yeah. And Yana, just by the way, just to comfort you, I believe that at the time when you were making that decision, you weren't under any duress.
Correct.
You know, you didn't have financial pressure. You didn't have, you know, there was nothing actually. And so do please trust in yourself that whatever process you went through to make those decisions, which aren't small decisions, you weren't under pressure, and you were in alignment with yourself at that time. So it was the right thing for you to do at that time.
Yeah. Listen, and if you hadn't done it, we wouldn't be here.
Can I add this? Yeah, it is. And can I add this as well, in terms of that, is the fact that what makes you think that just because you no longer run or own that business, that part of you that created, that birthed that business has gone away? It's like all of that creativity, all of the reasons why you started it in the first place, are all there. That's all part of you. That's all part of your creative burst, your creative spark. And so that's what they call transferable skills. No? That's what I would have thought it was. Yes.
Transferred between the multiverses.
Well, you know, it is. And so, yeah. All right. Well, listen, one day you guys may be coming to the opening of my, and you know what's really
integrated.
Funny? Yes, it was. I had created a vision board for it, for this new space. And it was very much a spiritual type of childcare center. So, you know, listen, maybe I need to go through some other things to kind of circle back to that. And maybe I'll never circle back to it. And that is absolutely okay, because I have absolute freedom right now to do whatever I want. So I am zero complaints. Okay, we need to move on and get this heat off of me. Okay. Anybody want to share another one before I keep digging in?
Look, I've got a couple which I don't want to talk about, because they're huge subjects, and we've actually covered them before, and that is the first spiritual bullshit as far as I'm concerned.
That.
I know.
No, because your hair is one God and one way. You know what I mean? Like one God and one way can fuck right off.
That is a huge one. Okay.
And the second big one for me is women being written out, vilified, manipulated out of spiritual history. So again, we've had big subjects about that, but they are my two huge, big spiritual bullshit things. And then the third one, which is also micro and macro, but we can talk about, and it's what I love about us so much, is the biggest spiritual bullshit is trying to talk people into your way of viewing or your belief system or that kind of thing, and not having conversations with curiosity and openness. So, you know, that's where I'm at. That's my spiritual bullshit topic for us to chat about.
So can I just say this? On your second one, can we just go back to, I think you said your third one about women. About women. I think we do have to speak about it, about women being sort of eradicated from all of sort of like spiritual history in left, right, and center. The thing is, my question is why it's bullshit, or not my question, my point is why it's bullshit, is that why is it that everybody has accepted that? Everybody, male and female, have
with women.
It.
I agree. That's the bullshit part about it. Women have
accepted that women don't exist with no spiritual power, with no spiritual history, with no spiritual. A lot of women have, and with right throughout many different religions. And I mean, men have accepted that, but you know, because they're the ones that changed it anyway. But just like how we know there were books of women within the Bible that have been removed. And
what I don't understand is what women's motivation is for shutting themselves down when it really comes down to it. Do you know what I mean? Why they don't push back? And honestly, it is something to do with this compulsion to win men over, have men do whatever.
Well, I think this has happened over such a long period of time. We're talking about times of like the Bible, right?
Yeah.
So everyone read Mary Magdalene Revealed by Megan Watterson. It's brilliant. Like it, you know, it speaks about, you know, all of the women in that time, and how their stories weren't told, and she speaks about those. But I think it's just been such a long time, Rachel. It's like we've all been brainwashed. It's just how we've been
I agree. And there would have been more reason ages ago for women to do that as well. Do you know what I mean? Because life was much more dangerous.
Exactly. But I do feel like people are pushing back now, right? So it's I think it just needed the time to sort of start happening. But the other thing I want to throw in, and we don't need to talk about it, but why is it that all of like language that is meant to insult people, like son of a bitch and mother, you know, why are they all based around women? And they're derogatory.
I've heard of misogyny.
No, but that's what we're talking about, right? But all of those insults, and also like if you have boundaries, you're a bitch. Like, you know, a man with boundaries, no one would, you know, think anything of. So I just wanted to check that in.
Yeah, who's going to answer that one?
Did I say something stupid?
No, you didn't. But it's,
you know, brilliant. I'm just saying.
It's great.
I just showing how misogyny exists in language as well as everywhere else.
Pissed at people in traffic and being nice to them in spiritual bullshit, but you went straight. You two went straight in, and I have nothing to say. Like, sure, that is absolutely accurate, and it sucks. And
well, should we be term bitch then?
Yeah.
Hey,
have any of you recently been in a situation where someone's been trying to convince you of their spiritual view?
Oh, yes. Spiritual view, no.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Well, just like
no to you, Kylie.
Well,
it's got great breath here.
It's funny because I actually interacted with a customer who buys from our olive oil business. I saw her this weekend. I see her all the time. And somehow at some point, many meetings ago, she had shared with me that she runs Bible study and she talks about her own like journey, you know, and I love engaging in those conversations clearly, which is part of the reason why we're sitting here, right? And so she says to me, and you know, you hear this all the time, that I'm not trying to say this to piss off anybody at all. I believe in what you believe in. I am open to my belief systems also evolving and shifting through time. Okay, so I'm not closed off to anything. But she says to me, the only way to God is through Jesus. And if you don't take Jesus as your Lord and Savior and ask him to repent for your sins, you know, all that stuff, you can't get to heaven, you can't get to God, because that's what the Bible says. You know, and I said to her, like, I if that's what you believe in, that's great.
Did you ask her to show you in the Bible where it says that?
Well, no, what I said was that for me, I don't feel like I believe in Jesus and who he is and he came and all that stuff. Like, I hear the story. Okay, fine. But I don't think I need to get through Jesus to get to God. And she, I mean, for 40 minutes, you guys, I was like, please, somebody come interrupt me, because it wasn't just that she was trying to share information or kind of like give me new insights. She wanted to keep going until I said, you know what? I absolutely agree with you. And now I'm on your team. And
Yana, why don't you just go to the bathroom and not come back?
because, you know, I don't have boundaries like Kylie. I
Oh my
can't do
God,
that.
40 minutes. I would be in
40
murder-suicide
minutes.
scenarios after 10.
40 minutes. And I
I would have ran her over with my car and put a restraining order against
That's
her
really
40 minutes.
surprising. I really, for someone so fiery as you, I'm really surprised.
Oh,
I'm really surprised.
I can't hurt,
Oh, wow.
as fiery as I am, I cannot hurt people's feelings. Or I can't, if I think I'm going to hurt someone's feelings, Kylie, stop looking at me. I am going to, like, it makes me uncomfortable. And because I'm so blunt and I don't know how to sugarcoat things, there's no easy way for me to let someone down. It just comes out really direct. And so I'm starting to become embody more Kylie of like, thank you so much. I gotta go. It was such a pleasure to see you. I can't do that. But I'm trying to
Lara
ride
and I were
that
talking
train.
about this yesterday, Yana.
But if somebody
I know it's
said
a bit
that,
of a
if somebody
subject
said-
switch. But you know, the thing is that you sitting there with that woman, you're experiencing that discomfort that you're wanting to save her from. You're abandoning yourself at the cost of this other woman. And I really, really wonder if you asked yourself if you think that she would do the same thing for you. And then I wonder why you're doing it.
Oh, that's a mic
This is the
drop.
thing. No, look, Lauren and I are getting to the stage that our conversations are like this. Isn't it weird that through our spiritual progression, I do anticipate the more I go, for want of better words, when I say the more attractive I'll become, I don't mean like, you know, I'll bring all the boys with my milkshakes or anything. I mean, but I'm coming to terms with the fact that I am literally going to be less likable. Like I am going to be a less likable person.
It's like more polarizing, right? Because you'll be more
Possibly.
magnetic to the real, you know, but others won't necessarily.
Sick of
We're like,
abandoning
people are
myself
not going to like us so
with
much.
respect just like
We
that.
know why-
I can't do it.
We know why that would happen, but I think purely because this world is not built for us to love, honor, and respect ourselves. That in itself is a fight. That in itself is a journey, and it should never be. But that's the way it's been designed, and it's been designed like that through our DNA as well. So that's the tinkering that's been done. That's part of the whole tinkering process. Going back to what Yana had said, in a sense, about this woman and what she was saying, did you not feel? My question to you would be: did you not feel your beliefs as strong?
Of course. Oh yeah, that's why I didn't cave into what she was saying. I kept reinforcing mine, but I allowed her to just, you know, actually the one thing I did say, like the way I started here was our belief system for most people, not everybody, for me, it's an evolution, right? It grows. Listen, I may be Doreen Virtue one day and be like, oh my God, like this is all, I'm just.
No. I will stage an intervention.
My
that will
point
not
is,
happen.
I don't think Doreen Virtue 20 years earlier was doing what she was doing, knowing she was going to lead to one other place. So look, I'm open to the evolution of what comes. I will also say, if everything is the sign, right? If we talk about everything happens for a reason, do you know how many times I get hit over the head with, hey, Yana, you want to join my Bible study? Hey, have you read the Bible? Hey, have you connected to Jesus? Hey. And I'm like,
Yana, is that just because you look like a good, wholesome, all-American, you know?
I don't think that's why. I don't think that's the reason the universe is presenting
could it be?
That's hilarious.
You know? But listen, we get Jehovah's Witness around here all the time. We get them knocking on our door all the time. And they stand at the station as well. So as you toddle off to your train, they're stood there as well, trying to, you know, and everything like that. But I will never open my door to them, not because I'm running from them, but because we can't converse. We come from two separate worlds,
right?
And because they do not hear. They do not hear anything other than. So even though the premise of why they're knocking on the door is to share the word of God, they're not actually sharing, because sharing is a give and a take. okay, and there's a conversation. To me, they have none of that give or that take, because there's never a time when I've had a conversation with one whereby they've said, that's a good point. I've never thought of that. Yeah.
Right.
And have a conversation on that. It's always been a case of, well, these are the chosen few, and, have you to, and, all about the gods and the Bible and everything else like that. So I tried it a couple of years ago, and it just fell on deaf ears. And so I no longer choose to have a conversation with them. So, if they knock on the door, and you go to the door and you sort of hide underneath the door, you look out the window and then you watch them go. Or my husband will answer the door and then he'll go, babes, somebody's here to see you. And if I fall for that and I come down, I'm like, because, and they don't understand the concept of, I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. And then comes the whole thing. Well, don't you believe in Jesus, that he died for your soul? No, I don't think he died for my sins. Yeah. I don't really think that's why he came. And so there's, then comes a horrified discussion of, why you wouldn't believe in all that kind of stuff. I'm just not up for it. So my thing is that I won't give my time. My time's precious and my time's important. So I will not give my time to and it's not even a discussion, to what do we call it? Is it a service?
You know what?
What's this question?
That is an excellent comment by David there, because I'm just going to say we have gotten to a point as society where we can't share our opinion without trying to persuade the other person that they are right and they're wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
So for me, keep going.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Oh, but that's the whole thing, right? I think we can all sit here and genuinely respect other people's opinions, religions, whatever that may be. It doesn't impact me. And so, because I believe in what I believe in, and I'm not insecure about it. But I think there is a level of insecurity in some people, not everyone, because, whether maybe they haven't consciously chosen it and they've been brought up in it. So it's just like, that's what I believe. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. But when we start having a conversation about it, it's almost like, it sort of throws them a little bit, and they need to defend it in a way, because maybe it's not a real connected belief, but it's programming.
Oh, major programming.
So can I just say something to what you just said? That last question came from my child. So I was going to say, throw that up again so I can see what my child's saying.
He said, isn't built for a give or take, because a difference of opinion is seen as an offense or denouncement of their religion. He must answer the door too. And then he said, the religion does not allow for a give or take. Okay, he's just restating
that's
that.
what he meant, but religion doesn't allow for. So that's what it's talking about in the sense that.
You then call your son, and he's like, oh man.
Well, no. No, I don't. But but that absolutely makes sense, because we often find that there isn't a discussion when it comes to religion. It's so inbuilt, it's so ingrained. There was something that I was watching, or was I looking at today, whereby they were talking about, it was about a particular job that would come up, and it was like in football, and the fact that one person couldn't take the job because it was the job was because of Catholics and the Protestants. Is it the Protestants? I could say prostitutes, the Protestants. I can't say it properly.
Oh my God. Do not get us banned, Amanda.
We're offending everyone.
Protestants.
What do prostitutes do to you?
What is happening today?
I don't know.
It's planet.
The Protestants, right? Right? I know what I'm saying.
Catholic versus Protestants, right?
Yeah, somebody couldn't take a job because it was basically a Catholic team. So even though couldn't, because you don't know where that's going to lead. That's a life or death situation. Do you know what I'm saying? And so it still exists in this world today that, sometimes you can't go and play for certain teams if you're not, because Catholics are huge, isn't it? Catholics are huge. Who do you think you are going over to the other side? Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing, Bobby. And so, anyway, that's by the by. But that's what we're
Well, I think that all goes. Oh, we've got another comment.
Oh, another one. What's that? When you're religious, though, you often believe.
You guys are acting like we've never had comments.
So read the question.
Yeah, and also,
I
I think the other thing is to read them.
But no, that's my other child.
I'm waiting for Yana to read.
They're all in.
So we don't all start
That's
reading
my
it.
other child, I'm saying. What is it? Somebody
When
needs to
you're
read it out.
you often believe if someone does not prescribe to what you believe, they're in danger. So if your best friend doesn't believe, then to you, you might be worried for them.
Yeah, that is a point, because there is that element of, I don't know, maybe you don't believe in this, you'll go to hell, or whatever that may be, or just, on the earth dangers. So it's your responsibility, so you care for them. Yeah. Yeah. So
but that comes right.
Benefit
that comes out. That comes out of
design.
religion. See, this in my old world, I could talk about this. Right. Do you know what? It's really weird because I don't know if we're supposed to read them like this. But however, look at that, right? So look at that comment, right? Now, where I am, I have never really tried to convince my children. I've said this before about going my way or doing it the way that I see it is, or doing it how I think it's supposed to be done spiritually. I never have. So that's why I said to you why I was so shocked one day when I think one of them, I don't know which one was it, that said to me that they don't believe in God. I think or my daughter said to me that she doesn't believe in God. And I was shocked. I thought to myself, I failed. What did I do? Where did I go wrong? I'm so spiritual, something like that. But then she said, but I believe in angels, I believe in fairies, but you've never talked about God, Mum. I thought, what the hell? I realized I hadn't really talked about God. I talk about everything because I think it's all encompassing, but I didn't realize. But that's huge. But I mean, look, how many young people today are really involved in religion? And when we see our children get involved in religion, that would make me scared. You see, now the opposite comes out of that. Because if any of my children was to say, well, Mum, we're going to Catholic church, or we're going church, or we're going to become, I don't know, I would be very afraid for them. But I think I've said this before. So that's really interesting, isn't it? I'd be really afraid.
What's really interesting is the last little bit where we've been talking about all of this, it's fear that's coming up. And I just think that's really interesting, because I think anything that makes you feel fearful is worth getting curious about.
Look, what keeps coming up for me is what Lauren and I have learned. The most valuable thing we have learned in this huge human design course is that
it's amazing.
Everyone is built differently, and that all the programming conditioning is about homogenizing us, and that is what we're fighting against.
So the program
honestly, if I came up,
the program tries to make us the same. And if you know your human design and how you're designed essentially to operate in the world, the way you're meant to run energy, then you can differentiate. But otherwise, the program, the world, tries to homogenize us.
Yeah. And so when you come up against somebody that has a different view of yours, I'd like to think now that I would be celebrating the differences and seeing that both of us are actually in alignment, because we're not supposed to be the same. So it's fabulous that we have even a slightly different view, a slightly different nuance, because we are all different flavors.
But that's the thing too, even with, say, just healing modalities or spiritual practices, there is no one thing for everyone. Everyone is so unique. I mean, often that's why I sort of struggle to even tell people what I'll do with them in my sessions, because it's not until I get in there that I really get a sense for exactly what they need and how I'm, going to work with it. So one size does not fit all, people.
Do you know part of the reason why religion was created? You're going to be spiritual bullshit.
According to who?
Created by, according to me.
Oh, I love it. Go for it.
Okay.
There's a reason I said that. There is a reason. I'm not being spicy. There's a reason I said
No,
that.
I know you're not.
Yeah.
I know.
She was being spicy
Part
back.
of my, I was.
She
But
was.
part of it is because
How
I
dare
didn't think
you.
of an answer. But part of it is because religion keeps us divided. Because united we stand. And if we were all united in one place, one way, many of the things that is happening, the trajectory that we are on and that we have been on wouldn't be the case. But the mere fact that we are so divided in so many different ways or so many different belief systems and can never really agree, and religion has caused wars, and it's 100% serves the people who do not want us to remember who we are. Truly.
Can I say something? So it's really interesting because, okay, so I believe that the world would be a lot more peaceful if everyone were able to process their emotions and be able to feel uncomfortable. Because when you think about saying having different beliefs, I can have a discussion with someone, have different beliefs and not be offended or not feel wrong. And, you know, I've moved past all of whatever. I don't need to be right, as much as that might sound hilarious to people. I don't need to be right. I used to need to be right. Absolutely. I had a real struggle with that. I don't need to be right. It's okay if you have those opinions. If you say something that makes me feel a certain way, I'll process those emotions, I'll move on. But really, the basis of everything is people's ability to feel uncomfortable, deal with it, and emotionally regulate.
And I'm here to make everyone feel as uncomfortable as possible. Right? That's my sole purpose, right? And I think what a blessing that is in many ways, right? I'm just saying, look at your own bullshit.
You see, I hear that, but there's also, like what I said before, I think if my husband suddenly rocked up and said, listen, babes, I'm starting to catch the God fever or Jesus fever, and I think we should go to church on a Sunday, and I really think that we should get into the Bible, and I really think that we should understand all of the stuff about, you know, within the Bible and why Jesus came, and, you know, and Jesus went on the cross, and, you know, I think we should, like, you know, speak about our sins, stuff like that. That would scare me, because I would feel as if they are closing themselves down. They are losing their ability, their power, their ability, their sovereignty. It would scare the crap out of me. So does
Can
that
I
make
be devil's
me
advocate?
please?
Is that rubbing up
Go
against
on.
something trauma within you? Because I'm just saying,
No,
I go to church.
I came from a religious. I came from a church base. I came from church.
Right,
I've
maybe
been baptized, and I got baptized at 20 odd.
I understand.
You know? So I was.
I'm just saying that to have a big reaction, right? To especially go the other way, fear-based of, I would be scared if you went, versus, you know what, it's okay to go and explore because you are confident in where your opinion lies, your belief system lies. I'm just saying, at what point do you relinquish and go, I'm going to let you go and explore that? I wouldn't be scared for you, because you know how you feel, I know how I feel, and it's not going to affect our relationship. I'm just throwing it out there, because I go to church. I'm not ashamed to say I do go to church 2 Sundays out of the month, right? Yeah. And I can sit there and go, I'm not subscribing to what's being said today in the sermon, but I'm connecting to the energy, the godly energy. I'm connecting to myself. I'm having my own conversation, but I'm in the collective, right? I'm in the collective, and I'm kind of in that godly energy, right? But at the end of the day, I will go to the corner of the church and we'll talk about, you know, planets and all this stuff, but it's very hush hush. But the thing is that I'm in their house, and I'm going to be respectful of what they're preaching and what their belief system is, but I'm going to be over in the corner, and I will be respectfully in my corner talking. And then I go home at the end of the day and I'm like, what a crock of bullshit that was. But I feel very close to God, and, you know, that's what I go for. I'm just throwing that
Well,
out
you see, look, no, okay, so I understand that. The premise where I came from in terms of church, we were in a spiritual Baptist church, okay, and the whole shebang and everything like that. But we were also the person who led the church was also quite a magical person. So he was involved in sort of mediumship and, and so we had our own youth group whereby we did all of those different types of things. So for me, it's not necessarily about the church as such, stuff like that. It's how expansive you can be. I don't want to see any part of you shut down and confined into.
You were shutting yourself down. The church doesn't have the right to do that if you have a clear sense of self. I don't know.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that in terms of, I know what I experienced, so I don't have any trauma from coming from, say, going into church or going into a particular belief system. I don't have that. It's like what I see. That was one church that I went to. Not everything's like that, or not everything is sort of all plays out like that. Do you know what I mean? So I have lots of family that would love to slap a Bible in my face. Do you know what I mean? I have lots of family that, when they realize what I do, there's a very uncomfortable sort of smile, and kind of like, oh, well, what do you do, Amanda's? Do you know what I mean? And so it's that. But I don't feel the need to push what I do in anybody else's face. I don't need to slap anybody with the Bible. Do you see what I'm saying?
But you can't control their bullshit, but you can control yours, though.
Yeah.
I can control mine. Like, like my best friend, 40 years, she's a Hindu. And she, like I said to you guys before, and she's not a Hindu, she's Hindu. That's her religion. Or that's her belief system. And like a week after I, was doing my chakras, she went and got a whole tattoo done on her back. Probably about a good month or so. She went and got a whole tattoo done on her back. And when I had my chakras, like, I can't, it gets people a bit wild when I say it. But I think she was quite horrified because she thought I might die or something might happen to me or stuff like that. But look at it, how many years later I'm still here, functioning and still wild as ever. Do you know what I mean? And I love her belief system. I love her belief system, and how it works and how she grows. Oh, look, another child of mine. Wow.
Kylie, those questions have really reflected some interesting stuff back for me. So thank you very much.
So they decided to chime in here. So my husband does not believe in any of this spiritual stuff. And it has been a contentious topic in our household for a number of years until recently in the last year and a half or so, 2 years, to the point where it could have divorced us, right? Because he had his faith and I had my faith and it was not compatible. But we got to a point where it's like, is this worth it? Is this worth splitting up? And it got to a point. But the thing is that now he accepts it. He doesn't believe in it. He still asks me questions because he's interested in learning. But would he ever subscribe to the spiritual shit? Absolutely not. But he goes to church. But does he try to explain things to me? No, because he's still learning too. And there's no point because we have a mutual respect of each other. So we live very
Well, we've lost Kylie a little bit.
She's frozen.
Well, I'll also say if you're hanging out with people that have identical spiritual beliefs, you're in a cult, is the only thing I'd want to say at the end of that.
Thank you, Kyle. I think it feeds off of each other. Absolutely. So we are proof that you can have spiritual differences and still have love and mutual respect for each other and live a very healthy life the same.
I think what Amanda said earlier, I really love, though. Is something trying to shut you down or is it expansive? Because to me, I would like to think any conversation I have with anyone wouldn't shut them down. I would be expanding my knowledge and experience of their lives or whatever it may be. And I'd like to do the same if I was invited to. But equally, I don't need to prove anything. I'm okay. Thank you very much.
And the invitation is the key word there, because sometimes it's very, very unwarranted.
Yeah.
I see you, Yana.
Yeah. All right, listen, we are at the top of the hour, and we do have some beautiful words of wisdom from Lauren. And we're going to have Kylie pull a card for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
Lauren, go for it, girlfriend.
Okay. So this one is about being human and being spirit. And because often I believe spiritual bullshit is like getting too caught up in the spiritual world and not, being in the human world, or vice versa. Like just, it can be out of balance. So this is called invite your soul to come and play. So invite your soul to come and play. You are in an embodied human experience. What emanates and animates through your body is the life force of your soul. One cannot exist without the other. And often our human can make it all about them, their emotions, their struggles, their body, their mind. That's okay. It is how the humanness expresses, initially anyway. Everything is a choice. Back to the point. Invite your soul into your day. Invite your soul to come and play. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Relax into your heart center. Ask your soul to experience your humanness with you. Invite it into your now consciously. It is experiencing it anyway, but do you truly let it in its fullness? How might it feel to this formless energy to live through your physicality? To have a shower, brush your teeth, brush your hair, to eat the most tender and delicious delights that you call food, to wrap your body in your bed sheets and blankets and enjoy the bliss of sleep. How might your soul experience these things that every day you feel are normal, even, dare it be said, boring? The relationship goes both ways. It's not all about meditation and spiritual ritual, going up out of your body to dance in the ethers. Everything is spiritual. And on this planet, in this body, everything is also humanness. Relax for now. Perhaps not take everything so seriously. Invite your soul to play with your human reality today and feel the joy that you are.
I love that. Thank you, Lauren. And
Thank you,
Kylie,
Lauren. That's
what are you
really
going to do for us today, girlfriend?
Okay, Rachel, do not ask me any questions today. King of Pentacles. Okay.
Oh, Rachel's
okay.
guy.
Okay. Okay. So King of Pentacles is a reliable. It is about putting in the hard work. It is enjoying the fruits of your labor. It is staying steady within your belief system and your boundaries and what you feel comfortable with. It is about aiming for what feels right to you and the truth, which I think could not be any more better, because I can't speak English, than for today's topic.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Love that. Thank you. As always, everybody, thank you for joining us we just have like the time of our lives doing this. It's funny because I know like we're genuine friends outside of this 1 hour that we get together a week. And what I love is when people actually resonate with that, because you feel the authenticity. Like it's not, no one's paying me to be here and vice versa and all that. And so I just love the natural magic of that. And for anybody who's been here this long, head on over to our new YouTube channel. Let me share it with you all. We're building it. Please subscribe. Please like. Please comment. Please come check out Kylie. Kylie's got a whole bunch of spiritual bullshit and divine intervention. We got it all, everybody. And then also, as always, don't forget, head on over to yoursoulwisdomshow.com. Come join the collective. We have so much fun. It's such a healing space, such a beautiful space to growing. Those are real testimonials. There's nothing AI about it. Let me remove that. Okay. If you're still with us and you're interested in a reading, a healing, a guided meditation session, a Lightbody activation, or simply want to say hello to Rachel, head on over to yoursoulwisdomshow.com. We thank you for allowing us to create this beautiful space, and we hope you have a blessed day. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.